What's up, Christian founders, and welcome to another Whiteboard walkthrough. So today we're going to be talking about Vision Engineering 101. And I know that sounds complicated, but what it really means is how to bring the ideas, the visions that God has given you to life with ease and excellence every single time. Now, if you're a Christian founder, you have been called to social relief work according to 2 Corinthians 9, 12, and 15. And all that means is that you've been called to solve a pressing problem for citizens of heaven, for God's people at scale. You have been called to serve the masses, to serve the multitudes in whatever way God has blessed you in your gifting. So whether you are a Pilates instructor or a health coach, whether you are a wellness guide, a therapist, whatever unique ability that God has gifted you with, you are called to serve it to the masses, to all of his people at scale. You have been told that in order to do that, you have to pour out of yourself. You have to work long hours. You have to hustle. You have to grind. You have been taught that your alabaster box that is filled with your oil is you. That in order to pour out into the others, to pour out into the masses, the audience, the people that you've been called to serve, you have to break yourself wide open and pour out everything that's inside of you in order to create an impact. We call this the alabaster box paradox, because the alabaster box is not actually you. It is your business or your ministry. The thing that you are supposed to break open to cause breakthrough in the lives of your people is not you. It is the vessel, the container that you have built around your skill sets. And so in order to transition that alabaster box from yourself, from breaking yourself, working the long hours, feeling like there's not enough time in the day, wondering how you're going to clone yourself to get it all done, praying to God, asking how you're supposed to carry the load of this huge multiplied mission when it's just you or you and a small team. And the answer is you don't have to do it at all. You have to build the triple E, the effortless execution engine that is capable of carrying you to the true scale of your calling. The hardship that most Christian founders find themselves in is feeling like they're pushing their mission uphill by themselves. They're feeling like they're carrying everything manually. They're feeling like, God, how am I supposed to carry the weight of masses on my own or with a small team? And the answer is you're not supposed to, right? The Bible teaches us not to lean on our own strength. And in order to do that, we're going to lean on a triple E, an effortless execution engine that is the automated mission machine that cuts the friction from your work so you're free to flow with God. Now, before we get into the details of what a triple E is, I want you to just kind of take a step back and imagine how it works. Let's say that you've been fasting. You've been talking to God and he reveals to you that he wants you to host this huge conference, this huge festival. And so you're sitting here like, God, I know that I'm called to do this. I'm called to help people in my area with all of these incredible resources, tools, techniques. I just don't know how to do that. The triple E is the means of getting that thing from revelation to real results, to reality in the lives of the people that you serve. And so it's broken down into three things: effortless execution engine. But what it really is an automated mission machine that helps you carry the weight of what you are called to produce. It takes the admin and the organization off of you so that all you're worried about is focusing on your gifting. All you're worried about is staying in your zone of genius, is releasing your spiritual gifts to the world so that you can do so at your highest capacity. Each of the three E's breaks you into a specific area of freedom. Effortless brings you bandwidth freedom. Execution brings you technique freedom, and engine brings you capacity freedom. And when you put all three of these freedoms together, when you put all of the gears of your triple E together, you are finally able to move from revelation to release with ease, excellence, and flow. So here's how it works. When you're thinking about effortless work, what you're thinking about is bandwidth. Now, bandwidth is your ability to pour from your overflow, not lack. And we get this idea from 2 Corinthians 9 and 11 and Exodus 35 and 31. Bandwidth is the speed at which you are able to produce a result for your client. So that means someone comes to you, you know exactly what to do, exactly how to handle it, and how to get the same result with every client every single time. Now, once you get your bandwidth done, you start to speed up in technique. You start to become a master in that area, and you can serve more people at a higher clip. But if all you focus on is bandwidth, that is a surefire way to reach burnout because you are serving at your highest level, but sometimes that means you're picking up other people's strategies. Sometimes that means you are doing things that don't necessarily align with you. Sometimes that means doing ways that the world promotes instead of things that God promotes. And so if you focus on bandwidth alone, you don't really find that mesh of effortlessness. But that's where technique comes in. So when we get to the second E, execution, this is about your technique, your unique mode of mastery or order. And we get this from Ephesians 2:10 and Esther 4:14. Because you are God's workmanship, you are God's handiwork, you were appointed for a time such as this. So the way that you produce needs to be aligned with you. Your technique doesn't need to be a cookie cutter approach that you took from another coach. It needs to be something that honors you and honors God in the process. It needs to match your lifestyle. So if you are a mother of 5 and you don't want to work a 9 to 5, it needs to match that. If you are a single man who has all of the time in the world to devote to your work, it can match that. Whatever is true to you. It needs to match your work style. So are you I want to brain dump and work for 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours straight once a month? Or are you I need to do little bits here and there every single day? And it needs to match your personal style. So you are not trying to fit into a mold of what already exists. You are free to be your authentic self and produce authentically in an approach that is for you. But again, if you only focus on bandwidth and technique, you are still pouring out everything, pushing your mission machine up the hill manually. And what you really need to do to take this out of manual grind and into effortless expansion is an engine. This is uncapped capacity, a vessel that is ready for the weight of the masses. And we get this from 2 Kings 4 and Proverbs 10 and 22, where God tells us that I want you to have overflowing vessels. I want you to continue to pour the oil, but the oil is only going to flow as far as your vessels can carry you. And even as you are pouring your oil, I don't want it to cause painful toil for you as you step into your next level. And so that means setting up the systems, the operations, the connections that are going to take you from manual mode into automated acceleration. And when you put all three of those freedoms together, freedom of bandwidth, you get effortless. Freedom of technique, you get awesome execution. And freedom of capacity, through your effortless execution engine, you are then able to take your small Christian business, your small Christian ministry that you have proven to God that you have been faithful with in a little, and expand into much. Increase into much, expand your territory, clear the trees, and take the land that God has already given you. The land that God has already given you permission to take. The promised land that God has already called you to step into, because if you weren't meant to have it, you wouldn't be here. You first off wouldn't have made it all the way through this video, but you wouldn't be in the position as a Christian founder in the first place. God called you to this level as a social relief worker because he knows he can trust you. He knows he can trust you to help his people. He knows that you are here for a reason, and you want your process to match the level of your purpose. You want your capacity to match the true scale of your calling. You want infinite bandwidth. You want to have freedom of technique. You want to serve your people in your way so that you can open up the floodgates of heaven and allow God to rain down. And so if you want to learn how to build your triple E so that you can focus on your social relief work at your highest capacity, at your highest scale, at your highest calling, then you want to head to projectswithpower.com/activator or head down below to the link in the description, and I will walk you through the entire process of building your triple E, what it takes to unlock your unlimited bandwidth, your freedom of technique, and your uncapped capacity, and exactly how you can start to build that right now, today. So head to projectswithpower.com/activator or click that link below to get started.